Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Chef Vic Cuisine. Today we're making Gallo Pinto. Now I first had this dish for breakfast and lunch during one of my trips to Costa Rica. It has an incredible taste and it's one of the best rice options in my cookbook. And the secret is in the sauce. Pura Vida. So, let's get started.
Alright, so for the ingredients, we're going to need 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1 red bell pepper, 1 small yellow onion, 2 cloves of garlic that you're going to mince, 2 cups of black beans rinsed, and you're going to reserve 3/4 cup of the black bean liquid. Then we're going to use a 1/4 cup of salsa Lisano. And if you don't have that available to you at your local market, you can always substitute it with a 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce and 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Then you're going to need 3 cups of cooked white rice, preferably extra long grain, a day old, and refrigerated. And finally, a 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro, finely chopped. Alright, so to get things started, we're going to prepare all the vegetables. We're going to start off with the cilantro, and all you have to do is chop up the cilantro into nice, tiny pieces. Your goal is to cut the cilantro to small flakes that you can easily spread throughout the entire dish. So take your time dicing up the cilantro. You don't want to have large pieces of cilantro in the dish. So once you have the cilantro chopped to your liking, you can go ahead and set that aside for now. Next, we can move on to cutting up the red bell pepper. And what I like to do is chop the red bell pepper in half and then get rid of all the seeds from both sides. And then on each half of the pepper, you want to create long, thin slices, cutting from the stem to the root until both sides of the bell pepper have been cut. And then you just want to follow this up by combining all those slices together and double back and cut those into nice bite-sized pieces. Oh, and while you're at it, don't forget to chop that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned to the end of this video for a sneak peek of the recipe coming next week. And once we have the red bell pepper cut to our liking, you can go ahead and set those aside as well as we move on to chopping up the yellow onion. So what I like to do is always start off by chopping off the root and the stem of the onion, and then slicing the onion in half and removing the outermost peel. And so once we have the rest of the onion exposed, you can go ahead and create long, thin slices from the root to the stem for both sides of the onion. And then to create nice small pieces of onion, you can create some more slices perpendicular to your previous ones, and that way you're going to end up with nice small pieces of onion. So all that great flavor can be distributed evenly in the Gallo Pinto. And so once all the onions are sliced to our liking, you can go ahead and set those aside while we chop up the garlic. And to quickly mince up some garlic, I normally use a garlic press. And so for my garlic cloves, I'm just going to mince those using a garlic press to create nice tiny pieces of garlic to infuse that flavor into the dish. And with all that prep, we're ready to start cooking. So in a large skillet, we want to heat the vegetable oil over medium-high heat, or 375 degrees Fahrenheit, or 190 degrees Celsius. You just want to make sure that the entire cooking surface of the pan is covered with the oil. And so once the pan is hot, we can go ahead and start sauteing the chopped red bell pepper and onions until they're soft and translucent. And this should take about 6 to 8 minutes. And so once that time has passed and the onions look nice and translucent, we can add the minced garlic to the pan and allow that to cook along with the rest of the vegetables for about 1 more minute. And so once the garlic has been cooked into the rest of the dish, we can add in the black beans, the reserved black bean cooking liquid, and the salsa Lisano, stirring this all together until it's well combined. Once the mixture is nice and combined, we want to reduce the heat to the pan to low, or about 225 degrees Fahrenheit or 170 degrees Celsius, and allow the dish to simmer for about 5 minutes until the juice has slightly thickened and a little bit of the liquid has evaporated. And with a little TV magic, the 5 minutes have passed, and so now we can gently stir in the cooked rice and cook the combined dish until the rice has been heated through and most of the liquid is absorbed. And this should take about 3 to 5 minutes. And you just want to monitor the pan so that the entire dish doesn't become too dry, otherwise it'll burn on the pan. But once the time is up, we can finally stir in the chopped cilantro until it's well distributed amongst the rest of the Gallo Pinto, adding that next layer of beautiful flavor and color to the dish. And I add the cilantro in about 2 stages of the mixing process just to make sure that all the cilantro gets a nice even spread. And because I love this sauce so much, what I like to do towards the end of the cooking process is add in another drizzle of the salsa Lizano just to add even more flavor to the final dish. And with that, the Gallo Pinto is done, and you always want to serve this dish hot. And just like that, you've made your very own Gallo Pinto. Spanish for spotted rooster, the name originates from the multicolored appearance of the dish, resulting from, in this case, the rice, the black beans, and the red bell peppers. This dish was definitely a highlight for me for my trip to Costa Rica, and a great way to introduce me to the world of Costa Rican cuisine. Try eating this dish alongside some fried eggs and fried plantains for more protein and added flavor to the combined dish. As always, this recipe and many more can be found in my cookbook, Chef Vic Cuisine, Elevating Your Inner Chef, and that's available on Amazon, and I'll be sure to leave a link to that in the description box. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this recipe, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified when my next video drops. And stay tuned for next week where I show you to make this ultimate summer salad, my fruit ball salad. It's super refreshing and delicious. Well, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next week on another episode of Chef Vic Cuisine, and until then, peace.